Welcome, Gemini. I am Tammy Toshnik, and this is my channel. I'm going to begin by lighting a candle for you, Gemini. Can all use a little more light. And then before we get to the cards, I'm going to clear the energy. Gemini. What message do I have for Gemini? Gemini, when was the last time you had some fun? So my guides are encouraging me to talk to you about today. Having some fun, letting loose, putting the list down, letting your mind wander to less important things, Gemini. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Gemini, what does Gemini need to know for their best and highest good for this week? Such a worker bee, Gemini. There feels like there's an imbalance between being and doing. Gemini. All right, Gemini, you've got to the sea, never-ending story, chopped wood, stuck in the mud, spirit of place, and protecting treasure. So this does tell me, Gemini, that you are in a bit of a heavy space right now. Worried. I see worry here. If you just look at the body language of this lady, this woman here, she's holding her head in her hands. With protecting treasure, the lady holding her head in her hands. And even though this card doesn't mean that, I'm just looking here, another lady just showing her profile, showing her head. This is telling me that you are in your head too much right now, Gemini. And that, I would suggest, is probably a fairly common occurrence for you, Gemini. And you know that about yourself. And so this isn't coming as a surprise for you. But when we see something like this in the cards, it is perhaps a bit of a wake-up call to tell us that we do need that rest and relaxation. Now, To the Sea is all about being in the flow of things and accepting things as they are. You know, though, when I look at this card for you, Gemini, today, I'm looking at a lady in a bathtub, so I'm looking at rest, relaxation, what I talked about at the very beginning. When was the last time you had any fun? So this energy feels more to me, not so much about fun, but about rest and recovery. but fun is a part of that too. I don't feel any fun energy with these cards for you, Gemini. So you need to bring that in. Chop wood does speak about doing the things you know how to do, the things that you're good at. And it also speaks to maybe not taking on something so difficult, not such a monumentous task right now. So doing the things, again, that you know how to do, like clean your house, organize, work on your lists, etc., or work on getting things off your list, I should say, Gemini, and not taking on any more. Now, Never Ending Story does speak to going around and around and telling ourselves that things aren't going to change or that this is how it's always going to be. So again, this is an awareness for you, Gemini, that is what you're telling yourself the truth, or is it truth from before, but it doesn't have to be your experience now. So this is about observing. This is also about feeling like nothing is moving. So when we look at stuck in the mud, this is when the universe puts us on pause and says, you know what, you do need a break, you do need a rest. Sometimes it's because we're not seeing things clearly, and sometimes it is simply because we've been overworked. And that was my sense, my intuitive sense before I pulled the cards, that you needed more fun. The balance between being and doing, I believe, is what I said. And now the cards are verifying that for me. That there's way too much work going on here. Some of it is physical, some of it is mental. Spirit of place comes up when we are yearning for something or have a desire for something, such as love, or in this case, I would say it may have to do with financial security because you've got protecting treasury here. And Spirit of place asks us to embody that which we want. So meaning, if you want a relationship, a successful relationship, then you have to come from that place of being a good partner, being of love. If you want financial abundance, then you have to act as though you are abundant, because you are already. So a lot going on here, Gemini. Again, a lot of this is mental gymnastics, and so this is calling for you to take a break, to rest, perhaps go to the spa for some of you, Gemini. And then even if you feel like you need to move energy or do something physical, do the things that you know how to do. Don't take on anything that requires mental acuity right now or a lot of thinking or problem solving. Just do the things that come easily to you, and that will move the energy. But again, this does feel like, to me, this is coming from the inside out. And so you're seeing it reflected in the outer world, but it's started within you. And so it's something that you're going to have to look at there, Gemini. And protecting treasure does come up to remind you that you do have everything you need. Your needs are being taken care of. But just rest. This is a time of rest and relaxation. And again, do the things you know how to do. And if there's something that you feel like you're missing, then that is what you need to work on. That is what you need to embody. I hope that helps you, Gemini. And now you get to choose a card for yourself. Gemini. Interesting. Oops, I shouldn't be turning this over. Don't look, Gemini. Don't look yet. I got ahead of myself there. All right. So this is card 1, 2, or 3. Which would you like for yourself this week, Gemini? 1, 2, or 3? Interesting. So I would say this looks like to me these 3 cards are the culmination of the reading that we just did, the guidance that we just did, meaning that if you do that, if you take those steps that we talked about, this will be the result. So if you chose one, you've got happy, happy. So the result that you've been wanting is the one that you will receive. The result that you will receive is of benefit to you. But I kind of chuckled there when I turned it over earlier, because when I was doing the initial reading, or even before I started pulling the cards, my intuition prompted me to ask you, when was the last time you had fun? And in my mind, this card popped up. And that happens with me a lot because I know these cards quite well. So the vision or the imagery of them will pop up in my mind. So if you chose one, this is saying, it's validating for you that the result, as I said, is going to be the one that you've been wishing for. But bring in some happiness here, Gemini. Bring in that joy, that joie de vivre, as they say. And remember that we can find happiness in the simplest things as well, and to find satisfaction, life satisfaction, where we are now, rather than yearning and waiting for something else. And then if you chose 2, Gemini, you've got blessed, which is all about something out of the blue, I would say. It's that feeling of receiving something that you weren't expecting, and it's going to make you say, whoa, what did I do to deserve this? I didn't work toward this. I wasn't trying to get this or trying to have this, and yet here it is anyway. Also about remembering our blessing, counting our blessings in the moment. A lot of this is about in the moment too, not just about what's upcoming for you this week, Gemini. And if you chose 3, you've got Treasure Island. Remember, in the original guidance we had protecting treasure, and now you've got Treasure Island. So for some of you, this is definitely about your finances and feeling secure in your money and where your money is. And this is just to validate that you know what to do. This also reminds me of the chop wood card that we saw as well, because it does speak to you know what to do. You know where the X is, as in X marks the spot. And this does speak again about abundance and prosperity. Again, though, I would say this is about being in the moment. Where is your abundance now, Gemini? How can you feel abundant now rather than worrying about tomorrow, worrying about paychecks and money and bills and all those other things tomorrow? What can you do today to embody that? Remember, we talked about spirit of place, that lady, and that was about acting as if already that has come into your life. Where can you do that? How can you do that today, Gemini? Alrighty, I hope that helps you, and I hope to see you here next week. Take care.